It certainly didn't, so we'll see exactly what happens straight away. Nunu being banned away from TBQ.
Yeah, I definitely understand that one, and it had a lot to do with the Blood Boil there onto Callista as well, not only giving her more attack speed and more damage, but so much more maneuverability, and Imp just went off in that game. He was legendary very quickly, and LGD, they're going to ban away the Callista now on the blue side, not wanting to pick it up first pick.
Yeah, so not first pick whether they think, and they don't want to let it to go through with the second round. Also, the fact that Nunu's gone might be something towards it because the attack speed steroid's so important. So might look to play the mid-game AD carry battle against Uzi this time around. Kassadin, Azir, and Urgot round out the bans, and wow, straight away TBQ jumps on that Sejuani.
Yeah, Sejuani immediately picked up. We'll see whether TBQ is going to be able to use that to great effect. We've seen it pretty brilliantly used, but a lot of these early game junglers have still been effective and going, waste no time locking away that Maokai.
Yeah, but Trundle is still available, so we'll have to see whether the last ban that came through from OMG is justified. Econ actually taking a good hard look here at Hecarim. Janna's also been picked up, so Cloud will be on this one. Janna again.
Yeah, back onto that champion, of course, might like it still against the cannon. Of course, without the Fate's Call, doesn't have that way of re-engaging after getting monsooned away. And Imp, thinking about the Sivir, we've seen Sivir, of course, in the series that we cast earlier today. Legend Dragons used that beautifully against Gunty.
And already, this is bad news. If they lock in an Annie and something that can really go with the rest of the team comp here, there is such heavy engage already coming out of LGD. Look for Uzi to play something that has an escape. I wasn't thinking something along the Eyes of Ezreal because that's maybe a little bit too extreme, but the Jinx would surprise me.
Yeah, Jinx is an interesting one. Loveling, thinking about the Rek'Sai, has had a whole lot of success, especially early on in the season, and we've seen Rek'Sais be used so beautifully. And Uzi, thinking about actually going back to the Tristana, 1 second to go, and that one's going to be locked in, of course. Oh, actually switching over to the jungle, Gragas as well as Loveling. And Uzi, pretty confident with this Tristana. It's an interesting pick.
Makes a lot of sense. A whole load of no buttons coming through from OMG. They've got the Gragas ultimate. They've got the Monsoon that can come through. Not to mention the normal NATO and the Uzi ult. Just so many things to get this team comp out of your face. Means that they need to go a little bit more pickish, a little bit more control. That's where the Orianna comes through. Godfrey, amazing on that champion. And PYL, he actually might look at Nautilus. I'd prefer something that could set up people in unique positions, maybe create paths through obscure structures, stun people against walls.
I feel like something, yeah, come on, man, he's not going to play Bard. It's just not going to happen.
But I want him to so bad.
So do I. I really want to go on this magical journey with you, I promise. I promise. OMG looking to round out their lineup now with their mid laner Cool, thinking about a Cassiopeia. And at the moment, judging on these picks, it does look a lot like no buttons versus go buttons.
Yeah, it certainly does look to be that way. We'll have to see whether Akon sticks with his summoner spells because he's actually got the Ghost. And I'm not expecting it because we don't play standard over here. And that looks too much like a standard summoner spell.
Maybe he's actually playing Singed. Maybe it's a placeholder. Who knows? But that is very, very interesting. Wanting to make sure that he can definitely get in on top of Uzi. And maybe that's his response. He's like, okay, you've got Buster Shot, Rocket Jump. It's okay. I'll run really, really fast.
Yeah, I'm going to get back there with the Ghost. And, you know, with some distortion boots, he's going to be able to get around the map really quickly.
Yeah, true.
Also has his teleport available more often than going. And it makes a more attractive option coming through there. So we'll have to see if that is exactly what Acorn is going for. But he swapped over at the last moment.
Oh, he's going to grab the Smite in the end, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to be the Skirmisher's Saber in that top lane with the Cinderhulk. And Acorn, you can see there going against the tree, picking up a very comfortable champion there as TBQ versus Loveling, the tank battle, Gragas versus Sejuani.
Yeah, Gragas a little bit better early on, so we'll see if Loveling can get ahead. Godfrey once again on Orianna, Cool on Cassiopeia. That's a skill matchup if you ever saw one. Cool needs to play it well.
Yeah, he certainly does. PWL and Cloud there. Janna versus the Nautilus, and engage versus disengage. Definitely on both sides of this 2v2 situation. You've got Sivir, who just wants to go forward with all of the boomerangs. But ladies and gentlemen, let's waste no time. Let's get into game 2. And And here we are, ladies and gentlemen, on to the Rift for OMG, taking on LGD Game 2. LGD taking first game with reckless abandon into the last few minutes. Of course, it was ridiculously well played from them. We'll see whether OMG can bounce back effectively, and it is going to be the Sivir versus Tristana this time around. Yeah, good ward coming through from Acorn there. We'll spot the invade coming through. I'm glad you kept talking because I was going to ask what taking a game with reckless abandon actually meant. I meant that they did it very quickly. They did do it relatively quickly, and they did it in pretty emphatic fashion in the end. They had all of the dragons. They had a Baron. They did. Only 4 turrets went down. They took OMG. Those dragons and Barons with reckless abandon. Oh. That's what I was going for. I'm not entirely sure whether it worked, as OMG do manage to get some deep wards down. I don't know. I'll let others give feedback on that one, as we see very deep wards coming through. And a sapling for good measure from Going. Now he's trying to scout out the rest of his jungle. The response is the invade in the bottom lane. Not as many deep wards coming through this time for LGD, but they might be looking to catch someone out. They've looped around the backside. Nope, they're just going to go home. Yeah, it is a cute little ward here in the lane, though, spotting out to see whether anyone's coming through. They're not between the inhibitor and inner turrets this time around, just trying to try something else. Yeah, Wolfcamp not warded there, so they're going to be able to get Acorn a good start, as well as start the Sejuani on the bottom side of the jungle. So pretty much perfect start coming out here for LGD. OMG, they're electing into the 2v2 lane. They did see Acorn go past there as Godvi. This is going to be a tricky lane for the first maybe 5-6 levels. After that, should be able to equalize fairly well. Yeah, we'll see how he goes. Of course, there have been a lot of these sort of control mages, these farm lanes in the mid lane. Cassiopeia definitely able to take some control there, but we've seen her used today already. Not to such great effect as POL looking to head forward, pick up a stun here onto Cloud or Uzi. Make his presence more health he has. That's ridiculous. Than Cloud. Hasn't even popped the Titan's Wrath yet as well, which, as far as effective health goes, it's going to definitely help out. Of course, Cloud does have Eye of the Storm, as Imp with that Ricochet able to get that reset, but explosive shot is going to help Uzi out in these trades. Yeah, certainly is. And you see Godby, he gets tagged by the poison there. Cool, not wanting to go aggressive. But cool, wow, he tags him again. That does wonders for your mind game early on, Atlas. And Acorn, he took a first camp and didn't even bother to teleport back. Just walked into the lane, not respecting Maokai's level 1 punches at all. Which is ridiculous, Spawn. Of course, you've told us all about how powerful his level 1 punches are, as we just see him do so towards the minions. And Acorn's taking a lot of damage. He's just trying to shove the wave in, get back, get a quick shop in, actually make use of the early gold instead of just throwing it towards pots. But he might be made pay here. Oh, devastating charge. That glove, Atlas, it does work early on. Oh, yeah. I think it's partly to do with that skin as well. Pretty powerful. Command Protect going to help against some of the poison damage here, as Godby just weathers the storm of this early phase. But he's already half CS of what Cool is, and Cool really is doing well, pushing him in, and this is a lot less control than we're used to seeing out of Godby. The return to lane for Acorn, he's able to pick himself up a Ruby Crystal only, has to burn that teleport. So we'll see how that one works out, because honestly, Going, much better start to this game, 20 CS. Yeah, not too bad at all, and things actually going almost the opposite here as far as OMG's game plan. We expected this moving forward. Of course, LGD versus OMG was always going to be a massive one. It was surprising to see LGD with such a dominating Game 1 performance, but I wouldn't be surprised if OMG had some more tricks up their sleeve, and it looks like these 2v2 lanes seems to be where OMG able to feel a little bit more comfortable, sort of the 1v1, 2v2, everything sort of working normally on the Rift. Yeah, it certainly is, and they're very strong laners, so not surprising to see this is where they are doing well. Uzi, as well as Going, have always, I guess, kind of prided themselves on their ability to bully lane, so we'll see if that does work out. Imp and PYL, they're getting a little bit bullied at the moment. They're falling behind in CS, trying to push out with this Sivir, not really working to their favor. Mid lane has equalized somewhat, with Godby being able to catch up with some CS. Orianna is just such a proficient laner in so many situations as, wow, Uzi gets aggressed on. Yeah, there's in fact the Riptide as well there by POL, but he takes a lot of damage for it. Imp running out of mana, probably wants to spell shield something. Cloud could just quickly throw out a Howling Gale. That'd help Imp out quite a lot. And they're just repetitively trying to push this lane in. The thing is that Tristana, she actually pushes back very well as the hook goes wide. But Boomerang Blade is there, as Uzi is going to have to deal with this wave heading towards the turret. Actually going back for a quick back here is Imp. 39 CS to 39. Uzi able to pick some more up underneath that turret. You can see Cool's actually gone for Cleanse in the mid lane as well, as I check over to see what these champions have picked up as far as summoner spells. Godby with the Ghost.
Yeah, it certainly has, because he needs to be able to... So, start with Cool's one.
Yep.
Sejuani, you take Cleanse in the mid lane. Done.
Okay, fair enough.
Move across to Godby's one. It's all about the persistent threat that can come through. We already mentioned the disengage, the repositioning ultimate, so there's no point being caught out of position as Orianna and not being able to get back in. We see Dade do this a lot on control mages. It's about being able to do consistent damage and be relevant at all stages of the team fight, and goes very versatile, can be used offensively and defensively as well. PYL, you're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, Command Protect is there. Godby not quite level 6, so not going to have any sort of kill pressure.
He's lucky
with that
that
Shockwave.
Cool was nearly there, because otherwise they would have been kept spamming out with the Twin Fangs. That's the max coming through first. Depends who you watch play Cassiopeia. Some professional players still do prefer to go Poison. Yeah. Helps you shove wave out much better than what Twin Fang does, but Twin Fang, as far as trading goes in lane, is just so brutal.
Yeah, and Essence of the Serpent, it is going to be the first upgrade coming through now for Cool, so able to get a little bit more back for every Twin Fang that he does throw out, and adds to the sustain here of the Cassiopeia. And Aspect of the Serpent coming through with the upgrade there at about 6.5 minutes. That's a pretty good clip.
Yeah, it certainly is. Able to get in there. He's been using it a lot to CS. He's been using the Poison mainly as a zoning tool. Not much point getting extremely aggressive in the bottom lane. As PYL, he's trying to catch Cloud out.
Yeah, Eye of the Storm here onto Uzi, though, staying very, very healthy. Imp getting pressured by this Tristana, who's being a complete menace. Uzi known for his lane pressure, and it's being demonstrated right now. Playing so aggressively. There's the exhaust, the heal coming through from Imp. Uzi going so aggressive as the Ignite goes down. There's the flash through from the Arctic Assault. Actually goes over Cloud. Beautifully played, but they don't manage to get on top of Uzi, who throws out all of his summoner spells in order to survive. But man, Imp held onto that flash for so long.
Yeah, he certainly did, and he held onto the potion through the Ignite as well, so able to get that one going. But every single summoner spell, with the exception of PYL's flash, was burnt in that trade. So next time either jungler comes to visit, whether it's Gragas, whether it's TBQ, now that he's hit level 6, you feel the effects are going to be much more explosive.
Yeah, and this is the ridiculous thing. Uzi versus Imp. This is the massive matchup here in this game, and they are so even as far as that farm is concerned. Of course, Uzi able to catch up, extend that lead just a little bit while Imp is no longer in the lane, but he's going to head back as well. Imp might be able to pick up a few of these creeps that are going to hit the turret and then shove back through. This game very, very close, as Godby's going to get a cheeky attack dissonance combo off onto Cool.
And we'll have to see if Uzi's doing his usual thing. He had about 450. He does. He goes and he builds up his boots instead of anything else, going for... Wow.
There's the flash twisted advance onto Godby. Loveling's here as well as Godby flashes out of the way. Oh my goodness, Cool. There's the ultimate as Acorn comes around the back. They pick up first blood here. TBQ grabs Cassiopeia as Loveling now going to try and body slam his way out. Nice devastating charge. The dredge line at max range, and Going's going to fall as well. And LGD, what a brilliant answer to that gang.
Yeah, they certainly were able to get it. Good counter again coming through from TBQ, even though immediately cleansing the ultimate from Sejuani was cool. He wasn't able to get away from the Hecarim, who just dove onto the backline. And this is the thing about Hecarim. He's unrivaled at getting onto a priority target and completely eradicating them. It's just annoying how much movement speed he has with that devastating charge. The fact that he knocks you in a bizarre direction with his ultimate, very hard to reorientate yourself. And in the end, Cool wasn't able to do it. Very short range, made to pay.
Yeah, and Acorn is so fantastic at using that devastating charge in order to get the player exactly where he wants them in these fights for his team. He devastating charged, I believe it was going right back into the max range of POAL's depth charge.
Yeah, certainly did.
Dredge line.
Yeah, certainly was able to set up the hook, is what I think you're trying to say.
I believe that was what I was trying to communicate.
Precision as well. Actually, TBQ stole away that blue buff from Godby, so that's not good news. And Going, he's gone for the Ninja Tabby against Hecarim, who's got a Balmy Cinder, so honestly doesn't do that much physical damage at the moment. Going to probably be trying to burn this tree down with fire as opposed to chop him down with a scythe.
Acorn used to that, which is playing the old Rumble.
Yeah, which is, I had a scythe and a wheat joke versus a tree, and you just completely...
Oh, man, sorry, I just realized what you were going
just
for, but it's hilarious. Oh, man, maybe when we're live you can go for it. But here's going to be the ult used in the mid lane. There's the shockwave, it's cool. Doesn't take too much damage, but man, the dissonance does some work. And Godby locks that one down. What? Okay, TBQ's just going to die to the turret. Loveling is going to come through here as well. Cloud going down very low. Imp gets exhausted as PYL does have the explosive shot on him. Not a lot of mana here on this Nautilus, but Cloud super low as Imp trying to get the damage down. They're just going to continue shoving this wave, and LGD looking to have some control here on the bottom side. Yeah, they certainly do, and it's all about PYL getting super aggressive. You can see he just roams out. Oh, nice Howling Gale as Uzi has to deal with all of these creeps here as well, but he's going to be able to get rid of them. Either Storm going to help him out as Cloud doesn't really want that melee minion attacking him, and it's bothering him just a little bit as he auto-attacks it down. Good gank coming here through from Loveling. Has been spotted out. Won't be able to get there in time. Instead, trying to pick up a Raptor camp. Now he might be the one that's being caught out. Yeah, Glacial Prison not quite here yet as TBQ going to be able to at least secure the Raptor camp. Godby going to take down the Wolves here as well. Definitely into agriculturalist mode for the Orianna. Wants to catch back up in this farm as Cool does have a slight CS lead. Yeah, so able to get a kill and a couple of assists is Godby, but Cool with that, I guess, misplayed turret dive in the end coming through from TBQ as we see how much damage Uzi does to structures at this point in the game. Able to rip through that one. Yeah, really that's dead. Equalize the lane again in mid. You thought that it was maybe going the Orianna's favor. Has some dirty farming now coming through from Acorn. Needs to get that done because Dragon is back available and you soon, and you feel that with the teleport advantage going to have, needs to be able to push out the wave, rotate around the map, also doing some counter jungling for himself. That's quite cute on the Smite Hecarim. Yeah, didn't actually manage to smite away the Raptors, which would have been very, very cool, as he doesn't actually have a sweeper just yet. Might give him a makeshift one heading towards this Dragon Pit. Not going to be the case as PWL is going to take down that pink ward there as LGD looking to go aggressive. Actually, Acorn back here in this top side of the map, putting some pressure on Go Going. Challenge was thrown down. Go Going walks away. Yeah. Gauntlet thrown. Oh, you don't throw a gauntlet at Maokai. You might get hit by that massive keeper glove. Actually, that's going to be the smite used onto PYL hat down here in the bottom lane, but explosive shot not exactly going to threaten death. They also used the Gragas barrel to stun him into the wall. Saw TBQ there and then wanted absolutely nothing to do with that fight. You throw in the... Everyone thinks Nautilus, okay, this is a huge amount of CC. What people forget is Sejuani rivals him in the amount of CC that she brings in the kit with the ultimate, with the charge, not to mention the permafrost coming through. That is such a huge slow. You don't really go very far if you have a Sejuani and a Nautilus on your tail. You most certainly don't. I actually like Sejuani with a frozen mallet spawn because you have even more slows. Oh, you should throw a Rylai's Crystal Scepter in there as well. Imagine the double duty. Do they stack spawn? I have no idea because no one in their right mind builds them together. I don't know what you're talking about. You'd be a better person to tell me. Do they stack? I don't actually know. I don't believe so. I think I actually wanted to build that on Sejuani when she first came out. Oh, was that the pick away? Yeah, it certainly was. Yeah, Loveling got it. Nicely done. Nicely done. Dragon up in another minute 20. The real victory is getting it off cool, though. It doesn't really matter if Loveling has it. Cassiopeia, so mana intensive at this point of the game. Not to mention cooldown gators. The ultimate whiff. Oh, whiffed by TBQ. Lands the Arctic Assault, though, and flashes in to the most beautiful shockwave I've ever seen predicted there by Godby. Maybe not that big, but it was fantastic. Yeah, and the dive coming through from Imp and PYL. Yeah, there's a depth charge as well as Uzi just gets slaughtered. Acorn finds his way into the backline. Go Going answers the teleport as well. Imp tries to get down the turret, now wants to kill the tree. TBQ coming through, sort of saying, I sort of should have my ultimate off cooldown, but he doesn't quite yet as Go Going going to flash out of the way. TBQ doesn't have Arctic Assault and Cloud going on a wild goose chase. He's heading the wrong direction. Someone let him know exactly what's going on as Loveling. He's going to find Godby there in the mid, but doesn't want to go toe-to-toe. And Cloud, he's got a pink ward, so knows that he's at least not spotted. The home guard Hecarim, he's going to grab him. Yep, he's got him. There it is. The Rampage going to come through there as well. The jewel of the century. He's just going to burn him down. Oh, no. That's insult to injury. Not very nice. If we were going to get the weather there, it was going to be pretty hot. That was awful. That was a new low. I think we've hit a new low, ladies and gentlemen. Cool.
I like how you say we. I didn't have anything to do with that.
Oh, no.
You.
Yeah, okay, that's a good point. I like to use the collective.
As we see, maybe this time TVQ can give the blue buff over to Godby. He's just got the heck out of dodge. Godby's like, do not go near my blue buff.
I'd be scared. Godby / Whalers, pretty scary guy. I've seen what he can do on talent.
As Cool gets the double proc there with the sweeper.
Nicely done.
Oh, can he pick it up? He can.
Yeah, that's the cheeky
That is
extra
worth
auto attack from Cloud.
60 gold. That is value for money.
Yeah, beautifully played. Uzi clearing out some minion waves here on the top side of the map. And Loveling hanging out here in the river. Godby just going to continue clearing as well. So 6-1 is the score here in favor of LGD. They have about a 3,000, 4,000 gold lead.
Yeah, and they've given up control of the Dragon area again. They've brought 3 people up into this top lane. They're going for a gank on Acorn, who is getting very scary at 2-0-0. But he's just galloped away. They're going to be able to pick up the second Dragon for themselves. And now they have positioning around the mid lane as well, Atlas. In response, OMG will be able to grab the turret. I like doing this when you're behind because it's a gold objective for a non-gold objective.
Yeah.
Second Dragon really doesn't give you that much as opposed to a turret that's a gold, but there's just so much dive.
Yeah, beautiful Petrifying Gaze to come through here as well, but the Glacial Prison didn't find its mark. Cool's still going to die, though, as that Dissonance doing so much work. Shockwave undergo going. Looked like a little bit of a disengage maneuver as Command Protect comes through. The bottom lane has found their way here from OMG. As Acorn makes his way down the backside, but Cool, he's just getting picked off over and over again, despite having some decent ultimates under turrets.
Yeah, he certainly isn't. It's just because there's so many threats. He has to decide, does he hit the damage threat? Does he hit TBQ, who can just dive him? And with the red buff, does a lot of damage himself at this point of the game. Heck, even Nautilus, he just CCs him for that long. Everyone gets out of the ultimate and then just walks towards Cool as well. He has no good options right now. That's why Cassiopeia, whilst being a power pick, is still extremely risky. The range can just come back and bite you sometimes. OMG, though, they've done a very good job of rotating around this map, getting damage down onto the turrets. Imp taking actually a lot of damage there as well as PYL looking for Cloud.
He's looking for something. Mobility boots allowing this Nautilus to move pretty quickly across the map. Godby going for his sort of standard build here. Picking up the Haunting Guys is his next item. A lot of early damage, but going towards that Liandry's Torment. Has Loveling, who's going to be stacking a whole lot of health. Not to mention going as well. I like the pick.
Yeah, certainly do. And the other thing is that they've both committed to kind of armor pickups right now as well, just because Hecarim, very scary. Siva, very scary. And that means that the sooner that Liandry's comes through, with the flat penetration and the ability to be able to shred through the HP, it's just very useful.
Yeah, brilliantly done. Cool hanging around here in the jungle, though, as 7-1, now the kill. So nothing to really write home about. Of course, 5,000 gold, it is repairable here by OMG. They have a fantastic late-game comp still, but the fight going on. PYL does get a little bit caught out here as Loveling taking damage on the backside. PYL, just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Riptide going to do some work, but he's most definitely going to die as OMG get the pick in the jungle. The rest of LGD wanted nothing to do with that.
Yeah, they certainly didn't. PYL was just caught out overextending, and in the end, it really cost him coming through there. They'll go back to some more standard farming off the back of it, but a kill picked up nonetheless, going across to OMG, who really needed it that phase.
Yeah, most definitely did. Uzi going to continue farming in this mid lane as Acorn. He's in the top as Cool might actually be able to finally pick up a blue buff, which is a huge deal. Loveling's got to be very careful not to burn that one down with the Cinder Hole because it's actually trying to reset as best it can. Doesn't look like it's resetting because Cassiopeia does so much damage.
Yeah, certainly does, and they're able to keep their pink water liners. Once again, Acorn on Hecarim doing his best singed impression between turrets 2 and 3.
Yep.
Might have actually caught out Cloud. He needs to be so careful.
Yeah, Devastating Charge has been popped. Talongale not going to find the horse, but is going to zone him away just enough as LGD. They do have a lot of vision here in this topside jungle. Before PYL sacrificed his life so valiantly, he did manage to get some vision down.
Certainly did. I think he would have preferred to do it without dying, but, you know, beggars can't be choosers sometimes, Atlas.
No, they can't. Sometimes sacrifices have to be made. The Rift is a dangerous place.
Unless you clear love, where it's relatively safe.
It is relatively safe. Acorn is just going to find Lovely. Oh, going. I apologize, just a little bit here in the top side of the map as Uzi rocket jumping his way away. LGD with some control here. Lots of very aggressive vision. No vision for OMG in the enemy base. They know they are definitely falling behind just a little bit at this phase, but I don't see LGD really falling off. Of course, we've had this Sivir argument over and over again, but there's no argument when it comes to Hecarim and Orianna.
Yeah, exactly right. So it's not even the scaling part of the composition. Doesn't really matter at this point because they've got tank busters in the other lane. So whether Sivir is a tank buster or not, really irrelevant to this point.
Yeah.
Going to do fine damage late game regardless, as they've now moved people into the top side of the map. And this seems to be a recurrent theme across the games. LGD, they explode in the early game, pick up a lot of early kills, and they're happy to slow play it, build up their objective, leave a minute until Dragon, so they've gone up into the top lane. They'll pick that one up, go back shop, pick up the third Dragon of the game, you assume. And OMG so far haven't really had an answer for it because LGD, they're controlling the objective so well that even if they get a random kill, all the lanes are pushed out. They can't get anything in their favor for it. It just becomes one death.
Yeah, and it just looks like LGD know exactly what to do if they get any sort of lead in the early stage of the game. And then it's all just textbook from there. We've seen this go the opposite way for a lot of these teams who sort of flounder around. But LGD, the complete opposite of that. They just shut out their opponent.
Yeah, certainly are looking to be that way. EDG and IG, for me, have been the two teams when they're ahead look the most impressive. But LGD trying to make the same case. There's three people now collapsing onto Akon. He needs to try and get away.
Yeah, he does not have Ghost, of course, ladies and gentlemen. Did use that one before. Onslaught of Shadows is going to be here. But he is going to die.
You assume the jump came through. Buster shot. Probably died.
Look, he's dead. One way or the other. Imp is going to be able to take down the top outer turret as OMG actually in position for this Dragon exactly when it spawns. TBQ is around the backside, wants to try and find himself a steal. There's Godby is here as well.
Cool's not here, no teleport available. They're pinging out a ward behind for a teleport. TBQ's gone in. I reckon they can fight this still.
Yeah, they're actually going to reset the Dragon here at the same time. The Flash manages to nail it onto Uzi after the rocket jump as Acorn can't really be stopped with that home guard boot engage. They do take down the Dragon. That is the 3rd to none here in favor of LGD, and they trade it for a teleport.
Yeah, so they're able to grab the Dragon and the top lane turret off the back of Acorn dying. Definitely in their favor, and wow, Atlas, it just seems like that they can't do anything wrong. Even when OMG get a pick, it goes against them.
Yeah, and they may have got a pick. They also had perfect positioning around the Dragon as soon as it spawned. The bottom lane was in the top side of the map. That generally means, okay, we've got a Dragon, but not going to be the case. TBQ just Arctic assaulting over the wall and causing so much disruption, and immediately OMG back away.
Yeah, so they don't want to fight. That seems to be the objective right now. They want to scale up in the late game, and we saw King try and run the same tactic yesterday, and Snake ran over the top of them in the games that they were winning just because they were able to get this early lead. So it seems to be a recurrent theme. OMG not learning from the first game, not picking for any mid-game semblance of fighting apart from maybe the Cassiopeia, who just got bullied in lane to the point that now she's not even stronger than Godfrey on Orianna, who's 2-0-3, 40 CS up, has a plethora of advantages, now picked up a Leandri's Torment.
And a blasting one. This is silly.
Just looks like everything is aligning for LGD and not much of an answer yet coming through for OMG.
I mean, the one thing that they can say is that Uzi has a CS advantage. I mean, he hasn't died too many times as well, and Imp doesn't have sort of the same snowball that he picked up in the last game. But this game isn't about the AD carries. It's exactly what you're talking about. It's the fact that, cool, 1-4-1, he's been preyed upon. 30 CS behind as well as Godby. He's freshly shopped, almost at 3 items. The 3 items that Godby has looked the most powerful with in a lot of his Orianna performances thus far. And he's been more than happy to pick up this champion back-to-back in this series, and he just looks so comfortable.
Yeah, certainly does, and they're able to once again steal away the blue buff. If anyone face checks this, it's just going to be bad news, because the amount of catch that comes through from Nautilus and Sejuani at this point is just ridiculous, and they're able to shred the whole bottom side of the jungle while sending Acorn back for farm. He hasn't even got a teleport. They just know they're not going to be engaged on.
Yeah, he's going to take down the Rift Scuttler here as well, make sure that they have some Baron vision. OMG do know exactly what's going on with the ward that they have placed around that area. Acorn now with the Cinder Hulk and the Trinity Force at the same time. Home Guard enchant already completed. We'll see whether he does decide to complete the Spirit Visage a little bit sooner rather than later. Of course, a lot of magic damage coming through from OMG, but he just wants to kill Uzi.
Yeah, he certainly does. That's his job. He wants to get on the back line. You see also the fact that 2 Frozen Hearts are going to be picked up this game.
Yep.
That's completely massive. They're just looking to shut down one part of the composition. Cassiopeia, Gragas, Maokai, they all do magic damage. No magic resist being built up. They understand exactly what the carry part of this composition is. It is the Tristana. Just kill the Cassiopeia. She does 0 damage dead, not a Karthus, and be able to dominate the rest of the game as they're trying to once again collapse onto this Hecarim. But this time, you don't think he's going to be caught.
No, not going to happen this time. Devastating Charge going to get him to safety. Does have the ultimate in case something crazy does happen. And OMG looking for something more. TBQ was around there as well, but is just going to secure yet another blue buff here for Godby, who's going to pick up the second one in a row. Seraph's Embrace for Cool has transformed, only going to proceed to get more and more powerful as this game goes on. Of course, Cassiopeia scales fantastically into the later stages with that aspect of the Serpent, but
the part of her kit that never scales Atlas is her range. Just never gets longer, and it's not the fact that Cool's not doing good damage. He's always going to do good damage. It's the fact that if you get Nautilus altered, if you get Sejuani altered, there's just so many tools to currently deal with the Cassiopeia that never going to be in a point to do that relevant damage. Going to get exploded before she can get anywhere near the team fight.
Well, it has been happening over and over this game, exactly how you say, but see whether Cool can maintain positioning. Not going to happen. Depth Charge going to come through. Flashes out of the way, but TBQ, oh my goodness, that dredge line was wonderful. Petrifying Gaze going to land onto the 2 tanks. It's BOL. He's going to get shredded. Uzi picks up that one. As Godby coming around the backside as well. LGD looking to try and pick something up. Of course, it is a 4v5 at this stage. We'll see whether OMG can rally in this one. Akon taking a lot of damage. That's going to be the ultimate onto only Cool as Godby managing to skip out of the way. Imp is going to die though as Loveling picks that one up. Command Protect onto TBQ. Uzi forced to flash out as that's Hecarim coming through with a massive one as TBQ going to fall. Godby and Akon the only ones alive, but they're still going aggressive. Godby so healthy and no one else has any health. The Dissonance going to come through onto Loveling. He's pretty tanky. He's tanking up everything. Eventually falls down as Miasma trying to do some work on the LGD members. And Akon, man, he is unrelenting. Does not want to stop fighting.
Yeah, he certainly doesn't. Able to get in their face at every point of that team fight. You felt with Imp going down so low early, the fact that they were able to turn onto PYL, it was going to go in OMG's favor, but the Hecarim, the Orianna, these are the 2 real carriers. We keep talking about it. They just supplement each other so well.
Yep.
Akon able to frontline. Orianna able to make up for all the lack of mid-game defensive stats with the Command Protect, able to get him into the fight more often with the Dissonance. Godby and Akon just played that team fight so well.
Yeah, it was beautiful work. And one thing I want to know is whether that was bad target selection from OMG or just fantastic aggro juggling coming through from LGD.
There's just not a priority target on LGD. Anyone you hit at this point in the game is a good target to hit as OMG actually start up the Baron. This is desperation territory.
On top of a pink ward.
They're just doing it for speed and they're going to be able to grab it.
My goodness, Akon coming through. Look at the shockwave as well. There comes the Glacial Prison, and Uzi super low in the backline of this fight. TBQ flashes on top of him. Permafrost picks up the kill as Cloud's going to get Depth Charge just to make sure that that one dies as well. That's a 3 for Baron, and no one dead on LGD. They might be able to push through and get some big turrets this time.
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to go for that. There's also a Dragon available if they want to turn around and take a 4th, and that was definitely not worth it for OMG. They might actually even lose the first structure of their base. No, LGD, they're just going to slow play it as they have all series. Take the relevant objectives on the map, push in bottom, take away Dragon, and this Hecarim Orianna combo, we're going to see it again, is just so devastating. Able to get on the back line and completely shut out Uzi and Cool.
Yeah, and Cool had no mana. He was throwing Twin Fangs over and over at the Baron and now just has to escape here as TBQ flashed on top of Uzi.
Yeah, so in the end, TBQ, he came up huge with the double kill. PYL lets out a huge scream after that fight. But it's just all about, that's such a cool combo to watch. You can start the shockwave halfway through the Hecarim ultimate. It doesn't finish until it goes off.
And I believe it actually pulled Cloud in as well when it looked like it probably shouldn't have when it first started up. But we'll see what does happen. Yeah, new feature.
Uzi doesn't look too happy. 1-3-3. A lot of what LGD is doing seems to revolve around shutting down that man, and you can't really blame him. 10 CS down, has got going with the 3 major items that you want on any AD carry, but it's just unrelenting coming through for LGD. They're going to look to time up.
Yeah, Uzi's going to get tied up yet again. That's going to be a, oh my goodness, hula hoop there for Uzi, but oh my gosh, Cloud just gets destroyed. Uses the Monsoon in order to get out as LGD trying to re-engage this one. TBQ too low, has to get out of here as Akon trying to be a nuisance. Miasma going to slow him down. Uzi has to deal with this ball, doing so much work as Godby just in the backline, completely healthy. Going. Not quite the tank he wants to be, and Imp going to be able to pick that one up. Uzi manages to survive. Godby not going to see him with that ward, and LGD, they're going to be able to take down this inhibitor turret.
That was Imp flashing aggressively forward and hoping he got the crit on Uzi to take him out of the team fight, but wow, in the end, nothing can go in OMG's favor. That was a missed Orianna ult, pretty much a cleanse straight away Sejuani ult. 2 of the most important ults of the team, you would have to say, and they still can't win the team fight.
Yeah, and they're winning a consistent damage fight against a Cassiopeia as well, which is just absolutely ridiculous. Cloud did all that he possibly could to try and get the disengage happening, but didn't quite work out as Akon, he's just going to continue split pushing, and look at how quickly he does it.
Yeah, he's an absolute beast at this point in the game. He's 100 CS up Atlas. Hecarim has well and truly arrived onto the current meta scene, and you just see how well he deals with any carry. He is a legitimate anti-carry threat in the top lane with that challenging smite, because he dives on top of you with the healing he gets. You just do no damage to him.
Yeah, there's no way to peel this guy off, and look, oh my gosh. Uzi almost got discovered as Akon didn't quite see him quickly enough.
He still might have him.
Oh, it doesn't have the home guard just yet. Devastating charge probably going to be there, but there's the buster shot. Akon is going to have to back away.
But he's got those major items. He's got the upgraded Cinderhulk in there. He's got the cooldown reduction in his build now from his Spirit Visage as well as the Frozen Heart. He's got the Trinity Force. Pretty much an end game build at 32 minutes. Only 1 slot to go. And honestly, that's not even really an important slot on Hecarim. You see it go from anything to something crazy like
Guardian Angel, Thornmail, something
GA,
like that.
Thornmail. You can even go with
Zephyr.
like Last Whisper, Zephyr, something along those lines. I like Last Whisper. Just because you get so much armor passively throughout the game, you're already really tanky. It just allows you to assassinate a backline member.
Yeah. I like it. Definitely like it. We'll see what's going to be picked up.
It won't be that.
No, it won't. It's not going to be the Flask either, though, and we'll see what decision he does make.
Game could be over in a couple of minutes.
You
can't tell him what to build.
I'm not trying to. Not trying to. Fourth Dragon was, of course, picked up here by LGD.
Desperation stuff coming out of OMG here. They're just trying to stack in brushes. That's when you know the game definitely not going their favor. Mid lane has super creeps pushing in. Uzi's backed away to deal with that. And all of a sudden, the go button can be hit from a very long way away. They're pushing in a wave in the bottom lane. And Uzi, he's not going to be able to join in time if they do go.
Yeah, and this turret is most definitely dead. Imp gets the last auto attack down there as well. And
one thing Dragon, minute 50 away.
And that may just be the final nail in the coffin here for OMG. They are down by 12,000 gold. It's very reminiscent of the last game, LGD, with what looks like yet another shutout. They're just doing it differently this time.
Yeah, they certainly are. And they might have spotted out a very greedy Uzi, although wards everywhere. Raptor Sense on Acorn. He's not the jungler. He's the top lane. Just has a smite, so he still gets that one.
Bit confusing.
And Uzi, he's trying to absorb the farm for the team. This is desperation in OMG mode where they're just rotating Uzi into the free lanes to get the farm. But unfortunately, you just feel that even if he gets to the 6 item mark, they have the tools to deal with it.
Yeah, well, Acorn's been demonstrating over and over again that he doesn't die in team fights, and he's able to get exactly where he wants to just because he's so incredibly fast and so difficult to deal with.
Yeah, exactly right. He doesn't have the teleport available yet, has gone that home guard enchant. Have to see how he rotates around here. They're able to steal away another blue buff. I believe Cool's only had one for the entirety of this 35-minute game.
Yep.
He's been once again completely picked on in this one as they stop Acorn's back. Probably don't want to prod him too much going.
Yeah, he is going to run very fast away from that sapling, though. Apparently, horses don't really like little trees because he looked very frightened. But going able to continue this split push here as well. Loveling is playing defense around here. You can see so many offensive wards here by LGD, just lining the edge of OMG's base, looking for their way in. We'll see whether they do put pressure on the top or the bottom lane, but OMG looks like they've managed to get the minion wave pushing in the bottom. Yeah,
they're not pushing out at all though, Atlas, and it's 10 seconds until the 5th dragon. They're deciding not to fight. And sometimes not fighting over objectives like this just mean that you don't have a window back in the game. It's a horrible fight to take. I'm not going to say that they have any chance of winning it, but winning a team fight around Dragon as opposed to being dove by a 5-dragon lineup like
Dragon and Baron.
LGD have put together, honestly, I would probably rather just go down swinging at Dragon.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I like to call it the snake approach. Just fight all the time. See whether people can just die, as Loveling is actually going to face check this Bush. Immediately uses the flash and the ultimate and the body slam to get him out of there. That is a very frightened Gragas, and 5th dragon, that makes absolute sense, as this Baron is just getting torn to shreds. Liliandry's Torment helping out there, but you have to think that it's just the dragon. It's just doing ridiculous stuff as Imp's able to lock that one down and go going. They're clearing out this mid wave. OMG thinking, yes, we've got our inhibitor back, but man, there are so many buffs rotating around LGD. They're looking just to finish this game.
Yeah, and they might just be thinking about next game, trying to prolong this one for as much as possible, get some talks in, although Loveling looks completely silent. As they push into the base, there is no way OMG can fight against this lineup now. They're just 5-dragon. They've got the Baron. Top lane's already prepped. They're going to be able to exit the base. They're just sending their Hecarim and bottom lane to go grab that. Probably a little bit premature. He's only just got his teleport back available now. And
oh my God. That was ridiculous. There's a 3-man ult coming through from TBQ, as well as Loveling's getting taken down low. As Uzi, he's going to be the focus here, as Akon just running really fast, looking for something. But it doesn't matter. Everyone's just dying in this fight. The inhibitor, it's going to fall down in the top lane. 16-6 now with the kills, as Akon just ults for fun. These Nexus turrets going to fall, and LGD with back-to-back shutout performances.
Yeah, and once again, it was in very emphatic fashion.
Look at Godby. He's like, yeah, I got Orianna again.
Yeah, just 100 to 0'd her.
Yeah.
Well
and Cool
played.
looks like he's just been 100 to 0.
Yeah, he's not a happy man right now. And why would he be? He's down 0-2. Do or die time now for OMG.
Yeah.
This was the team that we touted, the all-Chinese lineup coming through. Pretty much the Chinese superstar team.
Exactly.
That you could put together at this point in time, and they're getting outclassed. And honestly, it's every single lane. Imp and PYL, Uzi probably got the better of them that time around. He did very well in the laning phase.
He did.
But what they're very good at doing is understanding, okay, we're not in a position to have to force now. Godby, as well as TBQ, were just doing work in the mid lane. Akon was absolutely punishing the passive lane that came through from Hecarim. It's what we've always said, you can play anything against it. And then